Okay, today I want to formally announce to you guys the Asia Roasting Project. So this is something that I've been working on for the past few months. You guys have totally seen some videos on it. And I just want to tell you guys about what it is, how did it happen, and why? Why did I decide to do this? So I want to start off by talking a bit about what the Asia Roasting Project is. I'm going to give you the TLDR of it. Basically, what I want to do is see if it's possible to take a roasting profile found in Asia and recreate it here. Most simply put, I think coffee is one of the most unique mediums to communicate culture. You might be wondering, what do I mean by communication of culture? Well, the way people brew coffee, the way they taste coffees, the types of beverages they create with coffee are greatly influenced by their culture. And I think the way that people approach coffee is quite different depending on where they grew up. How their culture influenced their perspective of coffee is something that I'm just greatly interested in. And I think this can be found in something like roasted coffee. How a coffee roaster approaches roasting coffee, the way they create flavor, is greatly influenced by their culture. And I think this is something that you can find when you taste coffees roasted in Asia versus roasted in the West. You can even taste the same coffees roasted by various roasters, and you can see how people's commentary and perspectives of coffee shift depending on where they're from. And these are things that I really wanted to tap into is, can we, well, one, recreate these flavors and bring those flavors here, but also try to capture people's perspectives of coffee, what their viewpoints are, and more so what their culture is through the medium of coffee. So far, we've partnered with a few roasters. We have 4 right now. We have 4 coffees, so check them out. But really, the reason why this exists is to also solve a problem that I have. Yes, it's a communication and presentation of culture and flavor, but buying coffee from Asian countries is pretty difficult. If you try to buy coffee from, for example, Taiwan, it's pretty difficult. You can, of course, go through something like forwarding, and it takes a while and your coffee becomes stale, or you can get a friend to go to Taiwan and buy the coffee and bring it back for you. Those are kind of the easiest methods, I would say. So I wanted to just see, it's like, okay, you know what? If I can't buy these coffees and I like the flavors that I've experienced, can't I just recreate it here? And that is the gist of it as well, is I want to take that flavor profile that I've really enjoyed, I've found in Asian coffees, but try to bring it here in some sort of way. And a big reason why I'm focusing on Asia is because I have really learned about coffee through a Western lens. The way I taste coffee, the way I brew coffee, the flavor profiles and styles of coffee I enjoy are all very Western perspectives, okay? I love something like vibrancy and acidity and brightness in coffee, and I feel like these things are not so apparent with the Asian roasting style. I'll touch upon, the differences between the two styles, but it's more of like, I just want to try something completely different. I've tasted Asian coffees, and I think they are just very, very different. And that is what I am fascinated about, is how did they come to the conclusion that this was the profile that they want? And what I'm finding out is like, well, yeah, the reason why the people roast the coffee the way they do is because of their background, their cultural influence. And I think that is what is really interesting to explore. I don't want to jump through a million hoops to buy the coffee. Why don't I try recreating it here? So now you might be wondering, well, what is the difference between Asia roasting profiles and Western roasting profiles? I think, again, this is very influenced by what people grew up with and what people have tasted, but the gist is I feel like a lot of Western roasting styles focus on transparency, vibrancy, and bringing flavors inherently found in coffee up front. So when you taste a Western roasting style, like at least a light roast, a transparent roasting profile, you'll find that the flavors of the coffee are very upfront and vibrant. I would really say vibrancy is something that defines Western roasting style. Whereas Asia roasters, specifically East Asian roasters, seem to focus a lot more on sweetness, on taking acidity and blending it into the cup to maximize sweetness in some sort of way, integrating acidity, controlling the acidity, to increase sweetness in the cup. And I think that is just a complete opposite approach, complete different approach to the Western roasting style. And I think that's what's fun. Now let me tell you about how this works. Basically, we partner with a lot of roasters in Asia. Currently, we have 4. We'll have a few more in the coming months. We take green coffee, we send it to our roasting partners in Asia. They roast the coffee and send the roasting profile and the roasted coffee back to us. We then QC it, we cup it, we brew it, we taste it, and then we roast the coffee to that profile, then QC it and send it back for them to check on it. We rinse and repeat these processes until the coffee is tasting to the way the roaster in Asia wants the coffee to taste. Because ultimately this is an attempt at bridging the gap and more so bringing these flavor profiles here to the US and elsewhere. And I wanted it to be as accurate as possible. So it's a lot of QC, it's a lot of shipping, it's a lot of making sure these flavor profiles taste correct and are true to what the roasters want to taste. So that is what the Asia Roasting Project is, and I really, really want to thank everyone who bought the first few runs of the coffee. We have more coffees to come, and I'm going to give you guys a discount for spending the time to watch the video and listening to what this is. It's been a project in the working, and I'm so happy to finally get it out there. So use the code, it'll be on the screen here. It's a quick little 10% off, but I want to get the coffees out there to you guys, and I want you guys to try these coffees out. You might find out they taste drastically different than what you're used to. I'm just really curious about what you guys think about the coffees. I hope you guys pick them up. Thank you so much for spending the time to watch this video, and thank you so much for supporting me. I'll see you guys around.